Hey friends, I just decided on a last minute to go ahead and fire up the camera and try to make a video before the day gets going completely, and then I won't at all, and I probably wouldn't for another couple days. Hey guys, how's it going? Much love to everyone in the BC. I check in every day, you know, uh, just seeing who's posting for one thing. There's just something kind of cool and reassuring about seeing activity in the BC, even when I don't watch the actual videos. And it's just very alive and well. And um, it's a source of comfort in a lot of ways. It really is to the BC. I'm going to put some music on to see this going on um, just right now. Uh, I didn't choose a topic. I just said, okay, let me just get on and connect for a minute. I'm putting on an album by Philip Perkins, Hall of Flowers, The Flame of Ambition excerpts, and this is on his own label, Fun Music, 1987. Philip Perkins is a behind-the-scenes kind of sound designer who's been involved in movies, and he's worked with the Residents, among others. And I liken his sound to the future sound of London before the future sound of London. He predates them about maybe 6, 7 years. So keeping a focus on simple things like music and art, friends and family, just as a saving grace. I'm addicted and have long been addicted to the news. We all have habits, and we change them when we want to and when we can. And I just still have the habit of turning on the news, and I don't want to stop. But when you hear the news, when you hear the propaganda, that's what I call it. It's not news. And maybe it isn't propaganda. Maybe it is really news, but it sure seems like a completely one-sided. Just thank God for the simple things in life. This is some good stuff, Philip Perkins. So let me just, I got some records sitting here and I might pull some. Yesterday, I went, Flyover Country, the movie The Lamp's in the Way, that I did the music for, which little independent film that I hope the best for, but you never know. Anyway, yesterday was National Coming Out Day for gay and lesbian youth, I believe is how it was put. Flyover Country is thematically about coming out. And so Jim Fields, the director, had gotten a table at the event. There was an organized event in Omaha. And so I went down and sat at the table with Jim. And it was just neat. We got a armband to show solidarity, and I just, again, one more social thing. I know that it has to be because there's so many people that we need labels for things, for purposes, but I am dismayed that we have to label human behavior, and still have a problem with it. Anyway, I don't know why I brought that up. I brought it up because while I was down there, I went down to the record shop, and sure enough, I picked up two things. Um, this was on sale, and so I picked this up. Tortoise, the 20-year reissue. You all know Tortoise from Chicago. I've only dropped the needle slightly. I have the CDs forever. Tortoise, a great band, great band. Another thing I picked up, it was in the used section, double album for $7.99, and I didn't recognize it. I opened it up and looked, and I saw the name Smegma, and that was enough for me to get it. This was only $7.99. It's Aknode 1 by, well, it was originally out on cassettes, and Jasuk Meat and what's the other guy's name? Dr. Id. Aknode 1. And this sort of thing, for me, since I've been listening to music concrete, avant-garde all my life, some of this stuff, it's like, it's not that it hasn't aged well, but it's not much to listen to for very long, especially if you've done this sort of work like I've done, and still I've, continued to push my work, where you work with sound. And this is the old way of working with sound: cassettes, field recordings, a lot of seeming randomness, where beautiful things can happen in randomness. And so this is still worth a listen, but it also reminds me of that fact that, this is the stuff that everyone can do. But those are two new items in my vinyl collection. Some stuff that is sitting out that I'll talk about. And I also wanted to say that another reason why I've kind of dropped off on the Gimme 10 participation is I really get to the point where, thinking in genres, I just can't remember a lot of things that I have that would fit to show. I honestly, I don't remember. And it's like, just like Fred will say, I've shown this, I try not to show the same thing. Even though I've been on here a couple of years, I still haven't shown all my records. And so I want to keep showing more records. And I don't have things by genre. It's just in alphabetical order, so I forget. So I just wanted to say that's partially why I kind of dropped off of I'm still watching some Gimme 10s. Very interesting. But after a while, I just, my mind gets muddled trying to think genre-wise when it comes to music. After a while, it's just like whether I like it or not. Okay. Speaking of something I really like is the Art Bears and the whole Canterbury School of Music. And this is The World as It Is Today. Haven't put this on yet today, but this always, when I put it on, it's jarring. There's a point where Dagmar Krause just starts screaming bloody hell. And it's so appropriate, because she's screaming for me. And I feel it. It's just screaming about the world as it is today. Trees. This is excellent folk rock. This is a reissue. Was listening to, in particular, the song Fool off of here. Excellent. One of Hipgnosis's best cover designs, or just most intriguing. Was talking about this online with some folks, and so I also took some pictures. I have it on CD, and then I have the first one, The Garden of Jane Delaunay, which is just as good, actually. Got them both. We're talking about that. We're celebrating, talking about John Lennon's birthday recently. And I don't have the vinyl, but I just pulled this, and two versions was showing it. And of course, there's not much to listen to, but it's a real. So I'm happy to have this, and I've never owned this on vinyl. If I saw it at a decent price, which could still happen, I'd get it. Don't know if I showed this, but I had this out because I was playing this Tabla Beat Science with Zakir Hussain and Karsh Kale and Talvin Singh. It's really good. I got Duke Ellington sitting out. Duke Ellington, Spaceman, The Cosmic Scene. The Duke. Yeah, just kind of thought I'd show some more records, okay, and talk a little bit. Okay. Oh, then we were. I was showing some of my burns, and I can just show just a few more right quick because they're just sitting right here. As you can see, I'm really. I had no plan for this video. And the way that I plan for my videos is I don't really plan. I just, I just kind of think about, I try to get my mind together about what it is I want to say. Once again, Big Star, you come to mind right away because you have a reissue of this extremely rare album, which I love. Would You Believe, Billy Nichols. I love this album. I think it's great pop with Small Faces backing them up. My understanding is that they only ended up making a promo of this and just 100 or a couple hundred copies. It's a great album. JC68 has this Napoli Central. Just saw a real copy of this online, Necronomicon. Neuschwanstein. This is cool. Again, I just saw someone found the original Nirvana, the story of Simon Simopath. I'd like to find one of these. And then besides just copying covers, at times I'll make my own covers. Like for this Pete Namlook, Silent Intelligence. I couldn't find the graphic or something, so I just got one and matched it up. And then sometimes, depending, because a couple of folks have asked, what are the links for these? I did these years ago, and because of the whole thing with Mega Upload, was it? Being taken offline, and then a bunch of others were lost their links. A lot of these aren't online anymore. I kind of had a feeling, no, more than a feeling, I thought I knew, let me get this stuff now because it's not going to be here forever. And it was several years ago that I spent a lot of time searching stuff out and downloading. And at the time, some of these covers, some of the graphics weren't very high, just little JPEGs and thumbnails. So this is an example of one where I would blow it up and it wasn't very high resolution because it was the only picture. Nepalis. I don't even know where that's from. Here's something if Stephen Shipper happens to see it. I know he has this. I used to have this album, and I shouldn't have sold it. Nasmach, 4 Clicks. Cool ass cover. And I just did my best to reproduce that as good as I could. It's really good album. The National Bank. Magic Key. Someone online was again just showing this. Naya, I can't, Jubsoleje. It's good stuff. Nazca. A couple more, then let me just go over here and find a record to show. The New Wave. Stuff I wish I had on. Now here's one that I made just for the hell of it. I actually have the record NYL. Morse Code from Canada. Would like to find some of their records. Mother Night. Some kind of funk. Never see this album, Mother Night. Motif. Oh, this would be so good to find. Michel Moulin. Chrysalide. This is so good. On Crypto. Anyone have that? This is really good. Now, if I were to just go over here and pull something, what would we get? Well, I just got this Mamiya Bo Jamal. Okay, I'm just gonna do this and see what we get because I made no preparation. This is the Jays, Keith Jarrett with Jan Garbarek. Here's another one. What is this? Backhand. Let's go up here. What do we got? It's probably my G's, I think. Oh yeah, The Great White Cane. This is an interesting old album with one of Rick James's old bands before he got signed to Motown. I've talked about this before. I mean, talk about being obvious about your addiction already. The Great White Cane. Hello. Ridiculous. Oh, it's also a die cut. Let me show that. It's like, so whatever they were thinking, well, we got to do this. We got to do this. So they got him to do a die cut. A big white cane. And then here's the band. That's just real obvious to me, you know. And it's like, how did they miss it? Okay. Not even looking. What do we got? Kayak from Holland. I like this band, Pop Prog. And I immediately think of Marcel Renson, who's given me some nice Kayak records. Down below, what do we got? This is Mites Mrs. Beastly. Mrs. Beastly is an old German band, and this is a remix. One side is a remix of an old song by them, and then the other side is the original track. This is really funky. Noise band, I think from the East Coast, Missing Foundation, 1933. This is, you know, that in the Merzbow Zev School, industrial. Just thought I'd just, you know, pull some records just randomly. You know, I've got all these records. You want to know what they are? Philip Glass, the photographer. I think this is my Genesis section. Yeah, Genesis, Nursery Crime. This is a really good Freddie Hubbard album. Sing Me a Song of Song Me, Freddie Hubbard and Ilan Mimaroglu. You know, it's a statement. It's trying to be a large statement about life. And Ilan Mimaroglu has done some cool things with electronics and music, concrete. So it's a cool meeting between the two. It's one of the more avant-garde things I've heard Freddie Hubbard do, but this is really good. I think this is a German pressing. So again, just random rambling, and 18 minutes has gone by, and it's like I feel like I haven't said anything. And I'm still like grasping. It's like, you know, is there anything I really want to share? So I guess ultimately what I really wanted to share is just some more time and vibrations. And in a way, thank you. Thank you for being kind, folks. Because again, I still do spend a fair amount of time looking at YouTube at all kinds of information. Russia Today, weather, documentaries, news, not too much goofy stuff because there's just too much of it. But I tend to glance at the comments just to, again, gauge. And it's just, to me personally, flabbergasting just how cruel, insensitive, unthinking seemingly, and unintelligent a lot of people are. And how there's just this, it just seems to be this torrent of just lashing out And so I just want to thank you folks who, I just thank you all for not lashing out at me. Every now and then I see where someone does, and it's like, I just remove it. Thank you for being kind. It's like, because again, I challenge you. Life is the whole circle of life, which is darkness to light. So it's not that being negative and angry is bad. It's a part of life. But I always challenge when people step to me with negativeness. It's like, I don't know why you're coming to me with that mess, because that's not what I'm coming to you. And I always want to ask people, I do this to everyone, including myself, just put, check yourself. What's going on with you? I ask that anyway, even when it doesn't come to problems. And just in general, I think it's important for us to check in with ourselves, check in with others, have a sense of what's going on inside, what do we think? What do we feel? I don't know. Philip Perkins, again, it's about done, and then that's about right, time-wise. Really, it's been an enjoyable audio ride along with talking to you. I won't bother you folks with talk about my vinyl releases for a while. Have a good weekend. And whenever you see this video, I hope that, seriously, I hope that it's a good moment.